Good evening. So, welcome to Saints Softball. We are hosting Cameron tonight, and we are just starting off in the top of the first here. Raina, number 32, Raina for Cameron, was the first batter up, hit off the very first pitch, and she's currently at second now. And this is number 5, Chloe Larson, that just struck out at bat. And this will bring number 13, Taya, up to bat for Cameron next. So this is the last regular season game for the Saints, and strike one for number 13 here. I apologize, I was all full of misinformation last week. This is the last regular season game for the Saints. Taya pops that one up, and Whitney Lundgren gets underneath it to make the stop and get the catch and the out, playing second base there. And now Briley, number 8, is up to bat for Cameron. So this will be the last for Cameron. So this will be the last home game, or last regular season game for the Saints here at home. They will play again at home both Tuesday and Thursday next week in playoffs. So they will take on Unity on Tuesday for the first playoff game for the Saints. And that is foul number 2 for Briley. So count is 0-2 for Briley. And strike 3. So runner was left on second there, and that made out number 3. So they're going to switch up, and we are going to go into the bottom of the first now. So for Cameron, we have Emerson warming up pitching. We have Chloe behind for home plate catching. At first, we have Addie and Ashlyn at second, Aubrey at third, and shortstop is Briley. And then in the outfield, we have left field with Taya, center field Faith, and right field Raina. Coming up to bat for the Saints will be Faith Allrum, followed by Kat Williams, and then Jocelyn Shimon. So again, this is the bottom of the first inning, and this is the last regular season game for the Saints here. They will start their playoffs a week from today, here at home versus Unity. So that'll be their first playoff game, and their second playoff game would be the following Thursday. So this is Faith Allrum now up to bat for the Saints. And she hits a high pop-up for the very first pitch here, or off the very first pitch, and the second baseman's able to get underneath it and make out number 1. Kat Williams is up next. She fouls back that first pitch. Next pitch is inside. And gets a good hit off of that second pitch there, but it goes right to the left fielder, and she's able to make the catch to get the out. So that was Ashlyn playing second that got the first out, and that is Taya out in left field that got out number 2. And this brings Claire Brott up to bat now. Oop. I'm sorry, this brings Jocelyn Shimon up to bat for it now. She fouls that second pitch, so watched the first strike and fouled off the second one. So 0-2 is her count. Next pitch is low, so 1-2 is the count. And strike 3. So 3 up and 3 out for the Saints here, and we'll be going into the top of the second. Coming up to bat for Cameron, we'll have Emerson, followed by Addie, and then Faith. Again, this is number 31. Emerson is the first batter up for Cameron in the top of the second. This is foul number 2 for Emerson, tipping it up and back. "50 degrees here tonight, quite a bit cooler than our last home game last week." There, Emerson gets a great contact, and it goes into that foul territory, but left fielder is able to make the catch and get the out. That is senior Evelyn Lindblom out there that got the catch and made the out. So Saints are actually recognizing their seniors tonight after the game as well. So great job, Evelyn, there. Other senior in the did not get the out there. Yes, was the out, sorry. That was Aubrey that was up, and now this is number 31. And there is a strikeout for Addie. Sorry, Addie is up next. That was a strikeout for Emerson. Addie is up next. She fouls the first one straight up and just over the fence behind the backstop there. So that'll be strike 1. So Aubrey was the first out, and Emerson was our second out here in the top of the second, and Addie, number 3, is now up to bat. And she hits a nice one right on a great spot in right field, so just on the inside of the foul line there. So Olivia Fredrickson is playing right field out there and wasn't quite able to get there in time. So Addie will get to second off of that hit. And this will bring now Faith Nelson up to bat for Cameron. Hits off the very first pitch, but goes right to Larissa Chapman at third. And she's able to get it to Claire Brott at first and get the out. So no runs scored yet in this game as we go now into the bottom of the second. Coming up to bat for the Saints, we will have Claire Brott, followed by Quinn Williamson, and then Larissa Chapman. Saints are going to be recognizing their seniors tonight after the game. On the team, we have Evelyn Lindblom, who made that first out with a great catch that was just outside the left field line in that last inning. We also have senior Maddie Johnson, plays center field, and we have Claire Brott as our third senior on the Saints team, and she plays first base and will be our first batter up here in the bottom of the second. So lots of hits so far, but no runs in yet. Claire swings at that first pitch, strike one. Saints actually were not able to get on base in the first inning. Hopefully changing that here at the bottom of the second. And that one is just a little high, so that'll be ball one, so count will be 1-1. Next one's outside, so 2-1. And watches that next pitch, so that'll be strike 2 on Claire. 2-2 is the count. Next one's outside, so that'll be full count now. And next pitch is high, so Claire will take her base, and that'll bring Quinn Williamson up to bat next. So the infield again for Cameron, we have Emerson pitching, Chloe behind home plate, Addie at third, Addie at first, Ashlyn at second, Aubrey at third, and Briley at short. And that is strike 2 right now on Quinn, who's up to bat for the Saints. Next pitch is high. 1-2 is the count for Quinn. In the outfield for Cameron, we've got Taya in left, Faith in center, and Raina in right field. And Quinn reaches for that one, and that'll be strike 3 and the first out. Up next will be Larissa Chapman. Swings at that first pitch, so that'll be strike 1, and Claire is able to steal and get to second on that pitch. Swings at that next one.
Hey, something in the zone now. Don't give her anything here. Let's go. Keep her guessing.
And strike 3. Up next is Maddie Johnson. First pitch is outside. Swings at that next one. So 1-1 is the count. Strike 2. Runner at second currently, 2 outs. Outside, so 2-2 is now the count for Maddie. And fouls that next pitch. Deep, almost hitting a car driving by, so deep to the left here. So count will remain 2-2. And there she fouls it again to the left. And strike 3. So all 3 outs in that inning, strikeouts for Cameron. And that'll bring us to the top of the 3rd. Coming up to bat for Cameron, we have Ashlyn Candler, and then we'll be back up to the top of the order with Raina, Chloe, and Taya. For the Saints, we have Faith Allram pitching, Jocelyn Shimon behind home base, Claire Brott at first, Whitney Lundgren at second, Larissa Chapman playing third, Kat Williams at short, and in the outfield we have Evelyn Lindblom at left, Maddie Johnson at center, and Olivia Fredrickson in right. So this is number 1, Ashlyn, coming up to bat here to lead off the top of the 3rd inning. She bunts off that first pitch, and Faith Allram's able to run up on it and get it to Claire playing first to get the out. And we'll be back to the top of the order with Raina next for Cameron. First pitch is outside. And hits a great one off of the second pitch there. So goes deep into center field, gets by Maddie Johnson out there. And so that is a solid double for Raina. And that'll bring Chloe Larson up to bat next. First pitch is inside. And hits a nice high one out to right field off the second pitch there. And Olivia is able to get underneath it and make the catch for the second out. And now number 13, Taya, is up next. Fouls the first pitch. And tips that one up and back into the parking lot. Does hit the top of a car there. Yes, it is park at your own risk here. If you park close to the field here on the foul side, right field foul side, she's able to get, so that's Taya with a nice hit there that goes out to left field. Raina gets around to third, and Taya is at first with that hit. And now number 8, Briley is up to bat, and she hits off the very first pitch. It is a high pop-up, and Whitney Lundgren is underneath it playing second, and she's able to get the out. So no runs scored yet for either team. We'll be going into the bottom of the third inning. And up to bat for the Saints, we have Evelyn Lindblom, followed by Whitney Lundgren, and then Olivia Fredrickson for the Saints. Quite a bit different in temperature here tonight compared to last week. Last week was 80s and sunny when we were here last on, I think it was Thursday or Friday last week. And tonight now we are 50s, cloudy, a little breeze, and feels chillier than that. So hopefully next week we'll have the sun at least back for the first playoff game on Tuesday. Saints will be here at home again on Tuesday hosting Unity for their first playoff match. So in the bottom of the third, we have Evelyn Lindblom up to bat first. Fouls off the very first pitch there. Next pitch is outside. And great contact on that next pitch. So finds a great spot between left and center and drops on the green there. So that is a solid base hit for Evelyn. Debates about stealing to second and ends up coming back there to first base. So runner on first, and Whitney Lundgren is up next for the Saints. And attempts a bunt there, and it is going to be a strike one on Whitney. And that one on the bunt gets tipped up and back. Catcher makes a great attempt to try and catch it, but is not able to get underneath it. So that'll be strike 2 on Whitney. And there she's able to get the bunt successfully. And the pitcher is not able to run up on it in time to get it to first there. And so Whitney will be at first. And Evelyn advanced to second. And now Olivia Fredrickson. Oop, nope, we're going to be back up to the top of our batting order here. Faith Alleram is up. So little switch up in the fielding for Cameron. I believe there might have been an ankle injury out there in the field. So trainer's coming over to the away team dugout here, take a look at the injured player. So she was able to get off the field on her own, but I think rolled the ankle a little bit out there, going for the hit there. So this is the third batter up for the Saints in the bottom of the third. Faith Alleram watches that first pitch. That'll be strike 1. No outs. Runners at second and first. Next one's outside. And that one's going to get fouled into the parking lot. So that'll be strike 2 on Faith. 1 and 2 is the count now. There, she makes a great connection, goes into center field, and the player's able to get underneath it and get the first out. So I know before the shuffle in the outfield, center field was Faith Nelson. I'm not sure if that's still Faith out there or not. But that is out number 1, and now Kat Williams is up to bat. First one is low, ball 1. Runner's still at first and second. Next one's low again, ball 2. And connects on that next pitch, so goes right to the shortstop though. And she's able to get it to third base and make the out as Evelyn was trying to get there. So that is out number 2. And Jocelyn Shimmon's now up to bat, watches that first pitch, so that's strike 1. 2 outs with runners right now at first and second. And there, Jossie gets a great piece, goes into deep left, but she is able to get underneath it, make the catch, and get the out. So we continue a scoreless game here going into the top of the 4th inning now. Coming up to bat for Cameron, we have Aubrey, followed by Emerson, and then Addie. So first batter up here is number 11, Aubrey for Cameron, and this is the top of the fourth inning for us. Hits off the very first pitch, goes right to center field, and Maddie Johnson's underneath it and gets the out. This will bring Emerson, number 31, up next for Cameron. And she hits off the very first pitch, so this time Whitney Lundgren backs up and is able to get it in right field territory there, makes the out and makes the catch and gets the out. So third batter up now will be Addie, number 3. Swings at that first pitch, strike 1. And hits that next pitch, but goes right to Whitney playing second. She's able to get it to Claire at first and get the out. So we'll be going into the bottom of the fourth. And up to bat for the Saints will be Claire Brott, followed by Quinn Williamson, and then Larissa Chapman. So bottom of the fourth, still scoreless game here. Saints hosting Cameron. And Claire Brott is the first batter up. Swings at that first pitch, strike 1. And tips this one up and into the parking lot behind us, so strike 2 on Claire. And that one is fouled back as well. Count will remain 0-2. There she gets a connection, and it rolls to the shortstop. She's able to get it to first and make the out. So number 8, Quinn Williamson, is up to bat next. First pitch is inside. And next pitch is high, so 2-0. Swings at that next pitch, 2-1. That'll be ball 3. So 3-1. And there she's able to get the successful bunt, run, and calling it safe. Okay. So they are not able to get her out at first in time. So she'll be at first. And that'll bring Larissa Chapman up to bat next. First pitch is inside. And there, Larissa gets great contact into deep left field, and she's able to get the catch and make the out. So that'll be out number 2. So 2 outs, runner at first for the Saints, and Maddie Johnson is up to bat next. Again, senior night tonight for the Saints, and Maddie Johnson is one of our seniors on the team. First one is outside, ball 1. And ball 2. There, she tips it up and back. Almost hitting a car again. So I believe it only tagged the radio antenna for that one. So, but very close to hitting another vehicle there. So 3-1 is the count right now for Maddie. And that next one is high. So Maddie will take her base, and Quinn will advance to second. And Evelyn Lindblom, another senior, will be up to bat for the Saints. Fouls the first pitch here. Second time hitting that same car in the parking lot. So again, it's kind of parking... kind of beware parking in that foul territory in the Saints parking lot here. And fouls the second one, so 0-2. And watches that next one. So that is strike 3 and the third out. We will remain scoreless here going into the top of the 5th. We have coming up to bat for Cameron, Faith, followed by Ashlyn, and then back to the top of their order with Raina and Chloe. So a leadoff batter in the top of the 5th inning here for Cameron is Faith Nelson. First pitch is outside. Swings at that next pitch. Strike one on Faith. Next pitch is inside. 2-1's our count. Swings at that next one. Evens up the count at 2-2. And fouls that one into the parking lot. Almost hitting a different vehicle there. So count will remain 2-2. And strike three. Next up is number 1, Ashlyn. First pitch is outside, ball one. And that one is hit by pitch. So I apologize. I am one off in my batting order there. So that must have been Addie that with the out. Faith is now at first. And now this is number 1, Ashlyn. They're going to attempt the tag out at second, but they lose the ball there. So she is safe getting to second. And with that bunt attempt there, that'll be strike 2 on Ashlyn. 0-2 is the count. 1 out, top of the 5th. So far scoreless in this game. And strike 3. So 2 outs now with a runner on second for Cameron. And they are back to the top of their batting order with Arena. First pitch is outside. And swings at that next one. So count will be 1-1. Strike 2. Next pitch is outside, 2-2. Next one's high, and that'll bring it to a full count. And strike 3. And I apologize, that'll make the second out. Chloe Larson is up to bat next for Cameron. Gets a piece off the tip of the bat there, so that'll be strike 1 on Chloe. And that one's going to be a high pop-up with Faith Allerum getting underneath it and making the out. So that'll close the top of the 5th inning and bring us into the bottom. And up to bat for the Saints, we have Whitney Lundgren. And then back to the top of the order again with Faith Allerum, Kat Williams, and then Jocelyn Shimon. We are scoreless going into the bottom of the fifth. Little chillier night tonight, so hoping we don't have to go into any extra innings, but we will see what this game brings. We've got a pretty good matchup here, so Cameron and the Saints, lots of strikeouts for both pitchers on both teams. Followed by some good fielding on both teams as well. So Whitney Lundgren's the first batter up in the bottom of the fifth for the Saints. Attempts bunt there, and that's called foul. So that'll be strike one on Whitney. And there's a successful bunt. Third baseman's ready for it. Gets and is right there to get it to first in time to make the out. And that'll bring us back to the top of the order. So Faith Alleram is up to bat next. First pitch is low. And connects on that second pitch, but it goes to center field, and she's there to make the out again. So that is out number 2. Second time the center fielder's been there and able to get that out on Faith. And now Kat Williams is up to bat. Fouls the first one. Watches that next one, so that'll be strike 2. There, connects, and it goes right to their shortstop. So they're able to get it to first and make that out. So we are still scoreless going into the top of the 6th inning. Coming up to bat for Cameron, we have number 13, Taya, followed by number 8, Breeley, and then number 11, Aubrey. hits off that very first pitch to Taya and goes right to Faith, who's ready for it at the pitcher's mound and gets it over to Claire for the out. And Briley, number 8, is up next for Cameron. And she hits it deep into center field on that first pitch. So gets between center and right field there. So not able to get the catch, and that will get Briley to second base. And number 11, Aubrey, is up to bat next for Cameron. And fouls that first pitch. And there, she hits a deep one. It is over the fence, so that is a home run for Aubrey. Congratulations. Aubrey gets home, and Briley will come in on that as well. So 2 runs in and off of a home run by Aubrey. So congratulations on that. 1 out, and we are going to continue on here with Emerson. First pitch is outside. And that'll be ball 2. Swings at that next one, so 2-1 will be the count for Emerson. And she's going to hit a high one out to center field, and Maddie Johnson is underneath that one to get the second out. And next batter up is number 3, Addie. First pitch is outside. And fouls that next one. So 1-1 is the count for Addie. And there, she hits a hard one right to pitcher's mound. So I believe that hits Faith right in the shin. So it ricochets off Faith, and Kat gets it over to first base, but not in time. So Addie's at first now, and Faith Nelson is up to bat now. First pitch is outside. So that was a hard drive that Faith Allrum, pitcher for the Saints, took in the shin there. She's going to be able to see the shoelaces on that scar. And that one gets tipped up and into the parking lot. So 1-1 is the count for Faith Nelson, who's up to bat. Next pitch gets behind Jocelyn, so Addie's going to advance to second. And that'll make the count 2-1. Fouls that one into the parking lot. So it makes the count 2-2. Fouls that one into the, or either into the dugout for the home team or just on the outside of it there. Count will remain 2-2. Extra pitches getting in here, so count will remain 2-2 with that foul. And that one is a ball, so that will make this to a full count now. Fouls that one into the parking lot. Staying at a full count. And there's a hit, so goes to Cat playing short, gets by Claire at first. So Addie got around and all the way home off of that. And on the error there, Faith will advance to second as well. So 2 outs. And number 1, Ashlyn, is up to bat next for Cameron. Swings at that first pitch. And fouls that next one, so that'll be strike 2 on Ashlyn. And that one's outside and goes off the tip of Jossie's glove there, so that'll be ball 1, and Faith Nelson advances to third. 1-2 is the count for Ashlyn, up to bat right now. That one's fouled, so 1-2 will remain the count. And strike 3. So 3 runs in the top of the 6th for the Cameron, ending our scoreless game here. So number 11, Aubrey, with a great home run that also brought Briley in. So those were the first 2, and then off the error, Addie was able to get home as well. So Saints are trailing 0-3 right now, going into the bottom of the 6th. But coming up to bat, we've got Jocelyn Shimon, followed by Claire Brott, and then Quinn Williamson.
So what's the schedule
right, so the leadoff batter in the bottom of the sixth for the Saints is the catcher, Jocelyn Shimon, up first. She hits it up and back, so that'll be foul. Foul and strike one on Joss. And swings at that next one. Strike two. Fouls that next one, so count will stay 0-2. And strike three. So that will be out number one in the bottom of the sixth inning here. And senior Claire Brott is up to bat next. So Saints are recognizing their seniors tonight after the game. This is our last regular home season game here for the Saints. Claire hits off that very first pitch. It goes deep into left field, but she is able to run over and get underneath it to get the out. So that'll be out number two. And that is Raina out in left right now. That made that out for Cameron. And Quinn Williamson is up to bat next. She's going to foul it over the home team dugout into the parking lot there. And tips that one back as well, so that'll be strike two on Quinn. That one is outside. 1-2 is the count now. Quinn thought about that one, but holds it back. And there she connects, and it goes right to Emerson at the pitcher's mound. And she gets it to first base and gets the out. So that'll take us into the top of the seventh now, with the Saints trailing 3-0. And Cameron will be at the top of their batting order. So it should be Raina, who is the left fielder out there that made a good catch in the last inning, followed by Chloe Larson, their catcher, and then Taya, number 13, also an outfielder for Cameron. Those should be the next people up to bat for Cameron. First pitch is a strike for Raina. The next one's outside, so 1-1. There's connection for Raina. And that one stays just inside the park. So deep left field, almost over the fence. So that is a solid double for Raina. And Chloe Larson will be up to bat next. Swings at that first pitch, strike one. And that one's tipped up and back over the fence, so that'll be strike two on Chloe. And that one's going to get tipped up and back, so count will remain 0-2. There she connects, but it is fouled to the left to the third base coach there. And strike three. And this brings number 13, Taya, up. Or Taya. I apologize for mispronouncing any names tonight. Watches that first pitch. That'll be strike one. And that one is going to be a high pop-up. Olivia Fredrickson is underneath it and makes the out. So high pop-up into right field there. And Olivia Fredrickson gets out number 2. And number 8, Breeley, is up next. First pitch is a ball. And that one's going to be deep as well. Again, deep into left field, so past Evelyn Lindblom out there, but not quite over the fence. So a solid double for Briley. Raina's going to come in there and be at run number 4. And now Aubrey is up to bat, and she is hit by pitch, so she's going to just take her base. And swings at that first pitch. This is Emerson up to bat now. Runner at first and second with 2 outs. And swings at the next one. Strike 2. And strike 3. So we're going into the bottom of the 7th. Saints are trailing 4-0 now. And up to bat we have Larissa, followed by Maddie, and then Evelyn. So Saints are going to need to score here. Hopefully in the bottom of the 7th with getting some runs in. We've got Larissa Chapman to lead off. And Larissa tips it back on that first pitch, so that'll be strike one. And high pop-up, or hits a high pop-up on that second pitch. Shortstop is able to get underneath it, so and make the out. And that'll bring senior Maddie Johnson up to bat next. And she gets a hit off the very first pitch, so it goes just on the outside of the left field line, and third baseman isn't able to get underneath it there. So that'll be foul and strike one on Maddie. Next pitch is high, so 1-1's the count. Watches that next pitch, so that'll be strike two. Swings at that next one and going for the steal at first, but they're going to be able to get her out there. And that'll bring up Evelyn Lindblom, another senior for the Saints. And Evelyn fouls the first one up and back. Swings at that next one, strike two. There she gets a nice hit, so goes over the glove of the first baseman, so lands in the grass there, so in right field. So Evelyn will get on first, and that'll bring Whitney Lundgren up to bat next for the Saints. First pitch is high. Next pitch is outside. Swings at that next pitch, so 2-1's now the count. Swings at the next one, so strike two. Evens up the count at 2-2. 2 outs for the Saints right now. Bottom of the 7th and trailing 4-0. And that'll be strike 3. So that will close the game out. Saints not able to get any runs in this game. So this was the final game for the regular season for the Saints here tonight. They will play home again a week from tonight in the playoffs versus Unity. That'll be their first playoff game again. Will be a week from tonight at home. Thank you for watching We Are SCF tonight. Great game with Saints hosting Cameron, and both sides, strong pitching by both sides done tonight. And Cameron coming away with the win 4-0. Thank you again for watching We Are SCF. Hope to see you next week from tonight, Tuesday at home for playoff game number 1 versus Unity.